Thank you, Andrew. Hey, folks. Welcome to BDSM. This is Boys Discussing Some Movies. Today, we're discussing Hereditary. And just a brief introduction. We've got Michael Arden on the end here. We've got Indiana Ford Marr. We've got myself, I'm Alex Sussman. This is Val Steinorth.
Val.
Did I say that properly?
Val.
It's Val.
and on this end we have Edgar Flores.
Hello.
Our happy host. Thanks for hosting, Edgar.
Of course.
Should we list our accolades?
I thought it was a fantastic movie. We'll just start us off with a very bland quote. There you go.
What? A bland quote?
No, a bland appraise. Just go on.
Go on.
Yeah, let's edit
Speak
this part
about
out.
we will be editing this part out.
But no, I mean, how do we want to conduct the discussion? I think it's just open. It's just
Generally.
open.
Yeah, I mean,
this
yeah.
podcast
Guys
is
who
costing
haven't
us
seen
so
it
much
before.
money.
Come on, Peter. Let's just do it.
It's heartening to see so many strange new faces here today. I know my mom would be very touched and probably a little suspicious. My mother
I
a
was
very
stunned,
secretive-
to say the least. Everyone who had seen it before said that it was more or less a masterpiece, and I can see why. What stood out to me immediately was the music, or this, I guess more appropriately, the soundtrack. It wasn't exactly musical or harmonious, but it was very powerful, and they made really good decisions, great choices made. I was unsettled from the beginning, and it was what was really striking to me was that the opening scenes were totally normal. Like, it was just normal life. It was a funeral, so it was sad and all that, but it was just, the sun was out. It was like in the house, normal family moments. But the music made it terrifying. Like, I was getting ready for something horrible to happen.
Thank God nothing horrible happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, the music is pretty creepy just throughout the whole thing. There's like these weird sounds. I don't know if it's strings or something, but it's like kind of like tension building.
Oh yeah. That was actually my fifth note, just music, because the music does make such an impression, like right out of the gate. And we already know this, like how music like sets the tone, but sometimes it's just like, it's just so powerful that it's so apparent throughout the movie.
Yeah.
That the music is one of the major characters.
It was masterfully done.
I mean, I don't think it was just the music, it was like the sound design in general, because all the little subtle and like the creaks and everything, it's all really good. I didn't hear any stock sound effects like the Wilson scream.
Yeah,
or
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, no stock sound effects. Those always stand out to me in horror
You mean like
movies
that,
for some reason.
one of those?
Sure. Yeah.
Those things. Those
Andy,
are
what
stupid.
was your
Yeah.
initial?
I loved the score. It was definitely very tense. A lot of I guess dread in the music, or that's how I felt. I really liked the cinematography. I thought it was just a great looking movie. There was one of my two notes. My first one is magic hour. Because there's a scene when she's outside of the grocery store when she meets up with the woman. And,
Conveniently, right?
You can very conveniently.
Yeah.
Well, it's maybe intentional by but that was shot during magic hour. It was very real. You could see the sun like setting. It got darker throughout the scene, much like our own video got darker throughout it.
Yeah.
But visually, the sun was set, and you don't see that a lot. A lot of sunsets are shot in front of green screens and stuff these days. I think I'm harping a little bit too much on that one point.
No, I mean it looks really pretty. The movie,
yeah,
just in general,
yeah.
like a lot of cool shots.
Well, a lot of
Good
it's interesting you
cinematography.
bring that up about the sunsets, because a lot of directors try to achieve that, but it's incredibly difficult, and to get it just right, the timing is so difficult, and needless to say, on any movie set, it's really expensive. So you can't afford to have a bunch of missed opportunities trying to catch a sunset. So yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. I mean,
But
the
when
sun
you get
was
it,
down
when you
at
get
the
it
end of
though,
the
it's
scenes.
amazing. Like natural lighting
Mhm.
is so amazing. You can't top it.
You
I know I
can't
already
top
said
it.
that about the
Yeah.
Barry Lyndon reference. It only took a few minutes, and already we got a Barry Lyndon reference. All right.
Well, you didn't say that on camera, so go.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
want.
So there you go. There you go.
Okay.
I'm sure the Kubrick estate needs my support.
Yeah,
so,
they need your
yeah.
approval.
And Michael, as your second time viewing it, right? What do
Yeah,
you think?
yeah.
Were you scared still or not really?
Yeah, no, it still has me. Like one of the things I just jotted down, like immediately after watching it, is like the there's not that many jump scares in the movie, but the ones that are so potent. Like this movie is such a quality over quantity like type of movie, as far as like you're not getting a ton of say typically scary scenes, but the ones that are like holy shit, like heart like just pounding. But this is like, you know, obviously like not like a traditional like scare fest, but oh my gosh, like it's very psychologically intense.
For sure.
And yeah, no, there are still like those moments. Like even though I even remember seeing in the trailer for this movie, and I know how much you hate watching trailers. You don't want anything given away, but I don't care about that. When the kid is when he's seeing his reflection. Even though it's cheesy, it's impactful. It's scary. It's creepy as shit. You know. So.
Oh hi. It's alright.
Yeah.
Come on.
Sort
in.
of like that.
Just like what's happening right now.
There's a jump scare right there. Tree houses. This is easily one of the best movie tree houses I can think of. I can't think of a lot of other tree houses in movies, but I'm sure this has to be towards the top of the
The
list.
Spy Kids have a pretty
yeah.
good tree.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Right
But it's
under the
a
Spy Kids.
it's a great tree house, and it's amazing how like at first it's like, all right, that seems a little arbitrary, when in fact like the treehouse brings the treehouse is really the glue that binds this creepy family. All right, continue.
Well, okay. On the one thing I wanted to say
Awesome, by the way.
about
Threw you
about
a
the
bone,
treehouse, the way I'm trying to think of what scene it was after the decapitation. There's a treehouse, right? The treehouse moment where you're like looking out. It's from Peter's window, or is it Peter's window, or is it his mom's window? You're looking out to the treehouse, and the red light enters and you don't know what the hell it is.
Yeah.
Great.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, it's just that's one of the things that is so brilliant about this movie. They like have you guessing way close to the end whether it's in their heads
Yeah.
or if it's just like mundane stuff like. And their brains are just making it something terrifying, or if it's like something terrifying.
Yeah, like the lighting is like you like squinting. Like, is that someone, or is that what is that over there?
I noticed one shot I think of Peter when he was in the bed and he was looking at the treehouse, and it was like the light was like circular in the center of his eyes, and it made his eyes look like fiery red, which was
nice.
You know, I found neat, because obviously, I mean, I guess what I understand from what's happening in this movie is there's some kind of spirit of Damballa who's who's the eighth king of hell or whatever.
Yeah,
who's
so
trying
like,
to find a host.
spoiler alert, right? It's spoiler alert.
Yeah.
King Paimon.
Yeah, so I guess the movie is, from what the times I've seen it in Val, maybe you have a different take. It's essentially like the demon is controlling the whole family in a weird way, and like the grandma was like the person right under it, kind of like leading the charge in the whole like.
She was Queen Lee.
Yeah.
The
She was like
grandmother was leading the cult, but I want to clarify this. The demon wasn't actually leading the charge. The demon was Charlie. Charlie is the spirit, the soul of Paimon, and the body, the vassal, is Peter. That's it. She was born into the wrong body. Paimon was born into the wrong body.
Yeah. Her mom
Wait,
said
wait,
that
you
she
keep saying
wanted.
Paimon,
Yeah.
right? But they were
Paimon.
saying
They did say Paimon.
So
Paimon, Paimon, same thing. But here's the
all
thing.
right,
Isn't
it's
there
going
like,
in the notes. This
there
is for
like,
posterity.
obviously a supernatural element to this, but like
I
the
didn't get that
light,
at all.
I'm assuming, is Charlie, the demon, right? Like
Yeah.
he is manipulating
Right, the like
things
yeah.
throughout the movie, whether it be the paint falling over when she didn't touch it at all. It like fell over, so she said, "Oh, call this number."
I think that was
Oh,
actually
that's
the
crazy.
other
I
spirits.
actually.
Because there was more than
I'm
just
actually
Charlie's
embarrassed to
spirit.
say it.
There were all these
Oh,
other
wow.
spirits. The
Yeah.
cult was guiding it along from the afterlife.
Because I assumed it was that one light that's like, and then you could see it at the very end enter his body.
Yeah.
You know, like you could see
Yeah,
the shadow leave. Like it's a little corny at times, but like the shadow leaves and then that little light comes into him and he like wakes up. So I don't know if that's like Hyman or
There's a little ode to
Charlie.
Heracles in the beginning of the story that's going on in the classroom when we are introduced to Peter, and one of the things the teacher says is like, what is Heracles' fatal flaw? And it's arrogance. He doesn't realize when he's walked into a trap. And that's actually what sets the movie in motion. The moment he goes to the party with his sister, that's what sets everything into motion. But I think that at the real heart of this movie is actually his mother. His mother is kind of the root of his own problems. She's unable to admit her own feelings, the resentment she has because she didn't want to be a mother for Peter. And
That scene was
thus
always
Peter,
gets me, man.
when he gets into a predicament of his own, much like the match scene, he doesn't want to admit it. He doesn't say sorry. He pulls up home, he gets in bed, and he just hopes it was a bad dream. And he just keeps on holding on to it. He's kind of mimicking his mother in that aspect. And another thing is he mimics his father, who hides information. His father hid information about the ransacking of the grave earlier in the movie, and Peter starts hiding information about, like, to his mother about the party and about his intentions and stuff. And obviously she can kind of see through this, and everything kind of just gets set in motion because she, at the heart of it, is running away from her problems, much like Peter at the end of this runs right out a window. So it's a bit of a story.
It was a less figurative running out the window than actual running out the window.
Yeah. But that's the beautiful thing about allegory, and there's like extra layers to a story. But I'll stop here.
But it's funny though, just because you mentioned the dad, and that, like, one of the things I jotted out was this the most willfully ignorant dad ever? Because throughout this movie, we know he's not dumb, but he just refused. Like, nope, I don't want to know about these things. Like every single time, when the mom's like, when his wife's like, I'm going to the movies. Okay. Like,
did you notice that the glasses came off as soon as Peter smashed his nose? His dad didn't have glasses on for the whole rest of the movie. I felt like that was symbolic of his like analytic sense.
Yeah.
His like, you know, there's no such thing as ghosts.
Well, I mean,
He's dropping the facade of logic
well, it's
and
clear.
I mean, he's like in it now.
It's
you
clear,
know?
like,
It's like
the
there's
dad-
no barrier.
The dad is already, like, in the very beginning of the movie, he's just beaten down
Right.
by life, beaten down by whatever. This family, it's not like any of this stuff is new to him, but it's just like, wow, like, this guy is just, like I said, he's so deliberately, like, he's like, I just don't want to know anymore. Like, I'm over it. I'm so over it. So he's either like a hero or he's just like,
I felt like he was a good guy.
He's
though.
very
I felt bad for him. I feel like it's like his wife and his kid, and like already his wife was going through like the death of her mother, so he's like doing his best to be there for her.
Right.
And
Not
it's just
only
like
that.
shit just keeps getting worse and worse.
which
and
would be
it's
a
like,
good title for this
there's-
movie.
It just keeps getting worse. I mean, that's what I thought when who just mentioned the lying to the husband about going to the movies. I don't know who just mentioned
Michael
that.
did.
But you know, I didn't see that as much as willful. I mean, he was obviously
He
knew she
knows
was
she's
lying,
not going to the movies,
but I think he
it's
was
just
trying
like,
to give
yeah.
her the space to, you know, just do what, you know, whatever she was doing as part of her grieving process.
Yeah, well, when I say
wanna
being
say
willfully
remember the
ignorant, I'm just saying, like,
context.
he doesn't even, he's so over it.
Yeah,
His
he
character, to me,
was.
you could define his character as, I'm over it.
As
He's
over it, yeah.
And, like, and that is, oh man, that scene when, like, you know, when he's just like, I'm trying to protect a son, you know, and she's just like, by the way, I feel terrible because I'm forgetting her name. She's such a fantastic.
Collette.
Thank you. That's horrible that I forgot her name.
Yeah, she
It is
kind of.
horrible,
I'm not
yeah.
saying she carries the whole movie, but she's.
It
definitely-
is-
She was
She was
fantastic.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
She's the main character.
It's awful that I
Yeah.
forgot her name. Sorry,
It is
Toni
awful,
Collette,
yeah.
but
One demerit.
It's alright.
Yeah,
I don't
but,
know most actors
but
and
it is,
actresses.
It is, and it's just one more because she wasn't nominated, right? She wasn't
Yeah,
nominated.
No,
Was
this
she?
didn't get
She's
shit.
part of.
Did she even get like a Golden Globe?
No.
So
No.
that just goes to show like what a crock like awards are in general. When
Yes.
someone for a performance like that doesn't get
It's like horror
nominated,
movies don't really
like
Yeah.
get any.
There was like Lupita Nyong'o in Us was a big one, a big snub. People. Then Willem Dafoe in The Lighthouse.
Yeah,
So,
dude.
You know, a lot of great, amazing performances in
Yeah,
horror movies,
yeah.
totally overlooked, which
Yeah,
is a bummer.
because that I mean I don't know how you even like how you measure it, but like to me like by any measure that is an award worthy
Yeah.
performance.
I'm
And
sure
she does carry.
Dude,
I mean,
that
it's
dinner
her movie.
scene with her and the son
Yeah.
and the dad when she
Yeah,
like,
I
goes
know.
off on him, pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Yeah.
sure this is like I don't know what year did this come out? 2016 or
I
something.
think like 16 or
Yeah.
17. I
Well, I'm gonna find whoever won Best Actress that year, and I'm gonna put it on the screen, and you'll see you at home.
think.
Yeah. Well, also like, I mean, in my very humble, unprofessional opinion, like acting, whether it's comedy or horror, that is in so many ways more challenging than just doing straight drama because drama is very subjective and people can pretty much interpret it however they want. But like with comedy or in this case with horror, it's like it's so easy to screw that up because it's either it's funny or it's scary, and if it's not, and if it misses the mark, then for the audience, just like this is stupid, this is dumb, you know, like so like a horror movie like can go wrong so easily because it's like I'm not scared, this is stupid,
Sure.
you know, like so her performance has to be almost perfect because otherwise it's just gonna come off like this isn't scary, this is dumb.
What's the
Like-
son's name? Because he was awesome in it.
Yeah, he was great too. I wanted to
Very
say,
believable
like,
as
yeah,
like a high schooler
That
smoking
scene.
weed.
just gonna check
That,
the cameras.
that
Keep
actor
going.
is always good in whatever movie I've seen him in.
What else has
my-
he been
He's
in?
new.
The Green Knight. He's in the Green
Okay.
Knight. I really liked him in that. Isn't that him in it?
No.
Fuck. I'm racist.
No, I mean they do look similar.
Yeah.
At least
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's not him.
It isn't?
This guy's like
Damn, I could have sworn. You're kidding me, not?
It's there somewhere.
Damn it.
We'll post the answers you're looking for on the video.
Yeah, but yeah.
Is this
so,
the
like,
kid from the Naked Brothers band?
Yes,
Was he really?
I think so.
I was joking.
No, it is not the same person.
Yeah, so like having seen this movie so many times, like it's not. There's like a couple parts that still kind of like scare me, but not really. But what gets me the most is like those like very uncomfortable conversations between
Yeah.
the mom and the son, because it's like, geez, like they're both going through like a tragedy
Mm-hmm.
in different ways,
And
and
really empathize with
like
both of them.
the mom is like clearly blaming her own
Mhm.
son, which is so fucked up. But like the son also needs a mom too to like be there for them, and yeah, like that like double nightmare scene that they have, or
Yeah.
I don't know if she has it or he has it the way it's shot,
Or they
but it's
both
like
had
that's
it.
like the most nerving thing for me to watch. Like
Mhm.
I never wanted you. Like I tried to not have you several times.
Yeah.
I still love you, but like that's the truth. Like I didn't want you.
Yeah, which like syncs up with the
It-
scene where, or the scene that they talk about, where she like comes in with the paint thinner and like tries to
Right,
kill him.
and
It's
they-
like,
yeah.
or it's
Oh,
like
yeah,
a
yeah.
re-dramatization of the like attempted miscarriage. You know, it's crazy.
the scene where the mom is staring at him when he gets home and he gets off his bike, and she's staring at him in the car, you
Oh
know,
God, waiting
which
for him
is
to leave.
Yeah, I
which is
know.
so haunting.
Yeah.
like so unbelievably haunting. That for me is actually like one of like the most like scary is not the word, but it's one of the most unnerving scenes in the entire movie.
yeah.
And so mundane.
And
Right.
and,
mundane.
and there was
They
like
just
also like the part of me
flexed
like
it.
maybe this is a very obvious thing, but I was like, so does he know? He knows that she's looking at him.
Does
I don't
he?
know. It's
I
not
thought-
clear.
Yeah.
I don't
I
think
thought
it's
that
clear.
he didn't see her, and he's just like,
Yeah.
like I have to go
Yeah,
in the house
yeah.
now. Like,
That's
Because
what
I was almost wondering like, yeah, okay, all right. Because I was almost wondering like if he knows, like he can almost like, because she's staring at him like a with like, it's like a laser on him, and it's like he can almost feel the heat on him, and he's like, he doesn't want to turn around because he knows that his mom detests him, you know, and it's just
Yeah,
like,
there was no
Yeah.
talk, but that at least that we saw, but like he knows that like she fucking hates me, or she's
Yeah.
100%
yeah.
blaming me for
That
this
scene.
freak accident.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting about the
But
accident.
does that make that impression on you? Because like, I mean, I'm only second viewing, but like that scene stood out for me so much. Her just staring at her son in that car was chilling. Like, I mean, it was like, uh-oh. Like, it's like, oh, they're not gonna mend this relationship.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Yeah, actually,
like,
the
and it's just, it's like powerhouse acting. She's not doing anything. She's staring at him.
Yeah, you can barely even
It's
see
like,
her.
Yeah, yeah.
the understated acting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The point of no return that you're talking about, I felt like there was a. Maybe I guess it was the decapitation, but like there's a threshold.
You don't really come back from a decapitation.
Yeah, you don't come back from that. I feel like there, like
That's true. It's sort of like you had me at decapitation.
Right.
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
like there's like maybe for the first hour or so of the movie, you have this sense like there's still something of real life for the family to hold on to. You're like still
Right.
somewhat
Still
attached.
feels like they could somehow come out of this.
yeah. But at some point, you're
Yeah.
underwater, and
Right.
it's just all over.
I was gonna say about the accident. I thought like it's you know easy to you could understand how they're both kind of to blame for it, even though it wasn't obviously an accident. Because like I mean the mom sent her, you know, made her go to the party. I mean, you know, not that that's horrible, but like I feel like it's her responsibility to make
Oh,
sure she
yeah.
has the EpiPen with her, which she obviously didn't, and you know that should
Totally,
be
yeah.
that should be the parents'
that wasn't even
responsibility.
mentioned.
Well,
Yeah.
Edgar, you've seen the Edgar and Val, you've both seen the movie a lot of times. So I'm asking you, how do you feel? Because to me, I feel like the mom is at least half as culpable. I know you could be like, well, come on, the brother, like he was more responsible, but it was like this mom knows her daughter. She knows how socially inept she is. Why is she knowingly sending her daughter into a social situation that she has to know her daughter will utterly fail in? Like, I'm
Yeah.
not saying like that. Therefore, she could have thought, well, my daughter is going to meet her demise. But it's like,
Meet
but
her
like,
demise.
what god awful parenting? Like to be like, yes, you go.
I think she
Nothing
was
could
just
go
desperate
She
and
was
to
throwing-
try
That
to
is-
get
that
her
is-
daughter to
that
kind
is-
of be normal.
That is
and
textbook neglectful parenting. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna put at least half the blame on
No,
that.
I think so.
But yeah.
I think one of the points of the movie is that the mother is retreating into her hobby. She hyper focuses on these little things because it helps her keep her mind off her actual problems. She's running away. She's running away from the problems she had with her mother, and she's running away from the problems that she has with her children, which she thinks she doesn't have. I would say that was all 100% intentional, and it is highly more her. It's just way more her fault than it is Peter's. But I mean,
All right,
he's
good. So you're
juvenile.
on my side. All right.
Yeah.
yeah.
He's a juvenile, but he still
Right.
actually basically he
Like,
gave,
yeah.
he made her eat the cake with the walnuts in it, and
but yeah.
But I'm
He
saying
sped
the mom has to know
while
that kid has
popped
no
up on
business
something.
going to that party. She has to know that.
I think the only
Like,
thing that
yeah.
could kind of make it his fault
Yeah.
is that he was a little stoned
Well, he
while
has
he was
he
driving.
has
No,
a
no,
degree
he-
of
he
responsibility.
has
so
some-
I
no,
don't
he
think
has-
anyone's arguing that.
He has some culpability,
But he wasn't
like, what
wasted.
my takeaway is like that's just really awful parenting. Like she come on, she knows her daughter. She
All
knows
right,
her daughter's
so-
gonna suck at this party. Like
So my takeaway is much more service level.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I honestly think it was the mom who needed to finish her thing, and she knows that her daughter's very antisocial.
Mhm.
So she's like, this will be good for you. And then I know if you go with your brother can't fuck up too bad, or he's
That's a
gonna
good
have to
point.
Go
Two
with you.
birds with
Yeah,
one stone.
Okay.
So,
Uh-huh.
I didn't think that at
Yeah.
all. And also, this is where, like, the more you kind of, like, after seeing this movie so many times, it's, like, kind of silly that it worked out the way it did in terms of, like, okay, so the cult planned this out?
Well, that's
or
'cause-
did Pyman plan it
Right.
out? And if
So-
so,
Yeah.
they counted 100% that the deer would be on the road because we see that telephone pole that has that
The symbol
The
on it,
symbol.
yeah.
Oh shit!
magically.
Yeah.
Did
Oh
we
my
know
that's-
god.
that they would
So-
be
I would
And the
assume the
pigeon-
cult
the
is
pigeon?
carved
So-
it in there.
One
So
of
that's
the-
like but that's a good point that I wasn't even thinking of. Like how much of this was planted or planned by the cult,
Because
and how
if
much
that's
of
the
it
case,
was
then you
they
can't
were
blame
just
any one of them. It's just a
they were just-
tragedy that they're like destined to all die.
Yeah.
Like in the classroom, like you were saying, that the teacher was talking to the kids, and one of the kids responded with, "Is it like more? I'm gonna fuck this up, but is it like
more tragic to have control over your destiny?
well, knowing that you're gonna
Right.
knowing that it's like doomed? Is it more tragic knowing it, or it happening like by itself or whatever?" So I just think that they were fucked either way. Like Hyman was gonna claw his way into this family,
Yeah.
and like thinking that this was all gonna work out. So like honestly, I think the family had no say, and I actually think that the mom trying to kill the kids, sleepwalking, was her way of like getting rid of her, killing her and the kids, so the demon doesn't take them. Like subconsciously,
Right.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
I kill
That's a good
them,
take.
then my mom and this demon won't get to them.
This is a good
That's
take.
just
But Edgar, that was you just made me now go back from now. I don't think so much like she still is doing terrible parenting, bad parenting 101. But I think it makes sense. That was strategy. She was just sabotaging. Sorry to just go back over like these like brass tacks,
Yeah,
but she
whatever.
was sabotaging him because she's like, yeah, if you bring your wet blanket of a little sister, then I know that you're not gonna go and like go get too crazy or whatever.
Yeah.
At least that was so that's right. She was just sabotaging his plan, screwing him over. Still terrible.
at least that's what I
parenting.
take away. Like
But
surface level.
yeah.
This movie obviously has a shit ton of layers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the words I saw inscribed on one of the walls at one point was pandemonium.
Mm-hmm.
And considering he's a god of mischief, I imagine
Oh,
where
that's
his
right.
symbols are,
King
it
of mischief
invites
or something.
pandemonium,
Okay.
chaos.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's why the deer was on the road and things worked out so perfectly.
Got you. So he's
I,
That's
uh,
why the symbols
he's a bit
were
like the Joker.
I
He's
actually
an
have
agent of chaos.
an equally intelligent comment here. I noticed before she found the grandma's body in the attic, there was a box of the board game Life on the shelf. But in fact, she was about to stumble upon death.
That was just product placement. Life is making a comeback.
Okay.
That's an underrated board game.
That's my
Did
second
you guys
note.
like the CG flies that came out and then
That
when
was pretty
the
funny.
door was closed, they were just gone?
Yeah, I
Oh right.
I tried. I was the same. Like some of the shots of the ants were a little CG looking, and
Oh yeah.
it took me out of it for a second. But it's fine.
Really?
It's
Wow.
fine.
It was good enough. Look,
They're
it was good enough.
ants.
I love it. Everybody's gonna
you-
have flaws and
you
errors,
became-
but that
For
was
like
funny to me.
for 2 seconds, he became Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, it took me out of
It
it.
took me out of the movie, but
the CG ants, it took me out of it.
That shot of the head on the road is pretty.
That's the
fucking
best shot in the movie.
That was
that's
great.
the money
That's like
shot.
yes.
what-
That's-
Wait,
I
is
feel
that
like that's
your?
like the turning point of where this movie, like this is the kind of movie this
Wait,
is gonna be
so
now.
is that the
'Cause
best
before
shot?
that,
Profoundly
it's just like
unsettling.
a sound effect.
That and the
Or a
creepy
little
naked
creep.
old
Is-
man in the door.
Wait, is the decapitated head on the road? Is that the best shot of the movie for you? Because that's a good thing. What's the best shot of the movie?
Oh, I don't
Yes,
know.
I would say that. I
There's
mean,
so
at
many
least the
great
most
ones.
memorable shot of the movie,
Yeah.
especially because it was only like maybe less than 2 seconds of a shot.
Well, it's like detailed.
I
so
know.
Good,
It's
so
like-
good.
Here's something I noticed when you mentioned the old man in the doorway. When he first sees the naked old man in the doorway of the kitchen, was that was the same guy who was smiling at the girl during the funeral?
Yes,
I don't.
Yes, he looks like scary ass Rutger Hauer. Not nearly as handsome as Rutger Hauer. May he rest in peace
Mhm.
eternally. But
God bless Rucker.
oh man, Rutger Hauer. I'm just saying, real quick thing. It's like one of the greatest like monologues in movie history, and it's his words, Blade Runner. But
Mhm.
anyways, yeah. So, anyways, continue. Just, yeah.
Well, no, that was more of a question because I didn't understand why. I mean, I
Wait,
noticed
what question? What's the question?
why. What was the deal with that man? And what, like, I noticed him. He
I
was very
think-
noticeable during the
Oh, he's a sycophant.
the coffin scene.
They're
I
all
think-
part of the cult
Okay, and
They
so
killed
that's
each
why he
other
was like
and went to
getting
the
all
afterlife.
excited at the funeral because he was like,
Yeah.
the
Like
little
the plan is
Charlie's
in
touching the
motion.
yeah. All right.
I did
Cool.
like, I found myself like wondering like did the cult plan out like and it was like how did they agree on okay like all the various naked
Sorry.
people like all the
Go on.
and then like it's almost like the
More
VIP
average.
people are in the treehouse like hey you mean like can we go in the treehouse now like we don't get to be part of like no, you guys just wait outside. We'll come and get you, you know, later on. But
I felt like they
Yeah.
all congregated there, though.
yeah.
That was
You
cool
know.
at the very end because like you see how small that treehouse is,
Mhm.
but when they start like chanting "Hail Payment," it sounds like there's hundreds of people there.
Right.
Or it sounds like
But
there's
what
a
I-
shit ton of
But,
people in there.
as
saying
far as
it
like
at the
scary
same time,
stuff though, how scary would that be? I would jump out a freaking window if I just saw like all of a sudden I noticed in the dark like scaring. I wrote it. Creepy naked people smiling is one of the scariest things to see in the dark. Like if I
wouldn't
saw
mind
that,
that.
I would like.
No,
Auto-
I'd stick around and find out.
just to see what's up.
Yeah. Just
Their
like, all right.
balls are defenseless.
Yeah.
You grab them. It's easy.
It's easy.
Easy
It's-
self-defense.
Oh man!
Never run from a
creepy,
naked person.
creepy
audience.
naked people smiling is
You
very
do the
scary.
last house on the
Like,
left move, and you
like-
pretend you're about to, go down on them, and then you
Oh man!
you've seen that
seen
movie.
that.
You bite. Well, I don't want to spoil it, but
I just want to introduce the word auto-defenestration to the group.
What's
Yeah.
that?
Well, that's what Peter did to himself in the end there.
I guess
Killed
so.
himself?
He threw
Oh.
himself out a window.
He killed
Yeah.
himself.
Self-defenestration.
Mm-hmm.
You should
Yes.
AYS.
Well, that poor
Right.
kid went through so much. And
Yeah.
At the very end, he's like
Not of
just
his own doing.
calling out his mom's name, like mommy.
I know.
Like, Mom.
Yeah.
Oh, I just.
Like,
And
oh
she's
my
like,
God.
dum, dum, dum,
Yeah,
dum.
dude.
That was crazy.
Yeah, it was
That
pretty
a
tragic.
scary
I mean,
scene.
I felt like that was almost him like being ready to try to make up with his mom or something, or try to or just maybe just regressing
But you
into.
kind of feel for the
uh,
mom too, because she's like,
She's
Yeah.
trying.
want to make it better, and
She
like,
just
but the
cannot
husband
catch a
too
break.
is like, she is gone.
Mm.
Like you could see in that
Yeah.
email he's writing, like she's going through like a
Mhm.
psychotic breakdown, or like he's like about to commit her.
Yeah.
And he gets interrupted by like the son, and then goes home, and she's like has a fucking seance message. You
Yeah.
can see it in his
He
face.
wakes
like,
them up in the
like
middle
the,
of the night.
person I fell in love with is gone.
Yeah.
And
that person's fucking
I
gone.
noticed towards the end of the movie, the husband, Scottish or something, very interesting. Didn't
Oh, his accent.
He has
Is that-
some sort
but
of-
no, this is the thing with
Okay.
Gabriel. Sorry, but this is the thing with Gabriel Byrne, and
Gotta
it's.
stick it in.
I think he's a good
that the
actor.
actor?
Yeah, I think he's a good actor, not a great actor. And I think what stops him from being a great actor is he's never able to completely conceal his Irish accent.
just like to
it's really
point out
weird.
something.
But anyways, yeah.
Throughout the movie, when each of the characters dies, they let go of something. The mother, she lets go of her grudge, her resentment to Peter, and is willing to actually give her own life. The father is finally able to let go of the mother, and Peter is finally able to forgive his mother. So those aspects all come in tandem with their death, respectively.
Damn, that sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's awesome, but it's like,
Damn.
damn.
I thought that was an interesting thing. I thought I
Yeah.
should point it out.
But what was the thing about Gabriel Byrne's performance? Or-
Scottish accent.
But I thought that he was Irish. He's
Whatever.
Scottish?
I don't know.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure
Well,
he's Irish.
Maybe he's
Maybe he's
Irish.
Irish,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, maybe he's
Yeah.
from the East End, and that's how he talks. Or maybe he's
Who's the-
Indian.
who's the kid who
alright?
played
I don't-
Peter?
I'm not. The,
I don't know his name.
Apparently, the guy from
We
the
should-
Naked Brothers band. We'll put the trivia up on screen. Editor's note.
If I recall correctly, he chose to do an actual headbang into the desk for that scene.
Oh yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, so that was 100% real. He banged his head
Well,
hard into
what?
the desk.
I doubt if he broke his own nose.
He didn't break his own nose, no. But he fucking hit it hard.
Payman did that.
That's cool. Right. So I'm gonna jump a little bit because something that I've been kind of holding on to. Everyone's like chomping at the bit here. I'm so impressed because we're like the kind of overarching notion that you were talking about between Heracles and the other Greek myth that they were talking about. The question of like whether you're in control or whether it's fate, like which is more tragic.
Mm.
The overarching piece is that like Payman is in control, right? Oh fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say.
I'm trying to remember.
I'm too deep in the
I'm trying to
wine.
remember.
I'd like to note. I'd like
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. I know what I was gonna. Wait,
I'm just trying to remember things I learned in high school.
Okay,
It's
okay.
like,
I'm gonna put that
I
up in the
remember
clip
that.
right
So
now.
okay, I just want to say because I think you'll dig it. So okay, I thought that one of the the elements of mastery for this movie. I mean, I'll say first, they didn't just give it all away. It's not like, ooh, spooky ghosts, like right at the get-go. It's like you're for the first half of the movie or so, you're still questioning whether it's in their heads, right? And one of the things that they really did so masterfully was there are these subtle little things that are going on, but they take, like you were saying, like one of the things that like made you most uncomfortable, Edgar, was the conversations that they had between themselves. They're talking about like blame, like no one takes responsibility, you know? And those conversations are so, like, these people are going through like deep psychological trauma. And you're witnessing this, and it's all being done by this like supernatural entity, Payman, right? But you don't know that yet. And dovetailing with the scene where Peter comes home and his mom is just sitting there in the car watching him. Again, totally mundane, but no one knows what the fuck is going on, and these little tiny things are happening to them that are just super disturbing. I mean, the decapitation isn't tiny, obviously. But like no one really knows what's going on, and it's just the interactions between them, like the blame, the shifting like suspicions, like the way they played on that and the human emotion. Like half of the scenes where people are entering the room, the camera's in their face. You know, you're like, you feel their you don't even know what they're looking at, and you're feeling their emotion. It's all about the acting and the way they're experiencing those things. It's so like
it causes anxiety.
Yeah, the creepy stuff doesn't come until like the last quarter of the movie. I just wanted to say I thought that was masterfully done. Like just
well,
amazing.
it gives just enough. It lightly seasons with like like at the funeral when that guy, the Rucker Hauer looking dude, is like smiling at Charlie, and I remember that like when I saw it in the theater, like that immediately stood out. I'm like, who's he? You know, I don't know who he is, but he's something, you know. Like, I mean, but it's so effective because I'm like, that is fucking terrifying. And how come no one's catching it but Charlie? You know?
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
no.
by the way,
in
my notes I wrote, is that girl really 13? Like, I was like, that's
the thing. She looked like a little girl, but she also looked like a very elderly woman at the same time.
Yeah.
She was so haggard, the bags under her eyes.
Yeah.
But a lot of very effective,
can you imagine
just scary moments in this.
Can you imagine what the casting was like for Charlie?
I know.
You know, it's like, we're looking for a haggardly 13-year-old. Like, you know, I mean, it's like,
she looked like a witch, like an evil witch.
Some evil mom, like living
But she
through her
was
child. It's like,
like
I have a haggardly looking
someone
13-year-old.
Influenced or attempted to be possessed by the grandma,
right?
Because like the mom admits it during that counseling circle that like, I've always had a tough relationship with my mom, and you know, I completely kept her away from my firstborn son.
Well, that's like,
and then I felt awful. So when I had my daughter, like she just.
The son was who the grandma really wanted.
Yeah, but she still like took the daughter
was the
like
best she could get to,
She said she wanted to even feed her also too, which is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had the scene, the diorama scene.
Yeah. Where it was like Toni Collette was in the bed trying to like nurse the baby, and the grandma was also like trying to step in with her. But
that's some demonic shit there.
How cool was that very first shot of like
it's awesome.
or the miniature, and then it turns into the kid's room.
So well
Every
done.
time I watch that, I'm trying to determine what the point is, like what the frame is.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Because I could kind of see it coming. I want to. I really like when you first hear when you first notice Peter hearing
the magic.
When you first hear the click for the first time, I think it's when Peter's alone in his room, or not when you first hear it, but when you first hear it after Charlie dies.
So it's after Charlie.
That was so like such a chilling moment, such an effective scare. There's so much of that in this movie. You know, like a lot of modern horror movies are very surface level with a lot of us saw Megan recently. Val,
cheap
we
jump
saw
scares
that together,
you know?
But cheap jump scares, and
they even did it like very faint
Yeah.
the first time. Like, you weren't really sure if that's what it was.
Right.
And then they did it again, and it was like,
You're like,
oh yeah,
yeah.
that's what that was.
Woo! Yeah, that really gave me a chill.
Yeah, that was
And
well
another
done.
one I really like that stuck out to me was the one where the mom, Toni Collette, was like in the upper corner of his bedroom, and like you don't notice it right away. Like
That's a
I
big-
hope
when
we got that reaction
When I
because
first saw that in the movie theaters, like this movie, I was fucking terrified.
Yeah.
I was sweating. I was like anxious. And when I saw it was like, it's definitely one of the scariest movies I've ever seen.
Mhm.
And honestly, I've been trying to chase that high.
yeah.
Have yet to.
Have you ever seen The Black Coat's Daughter?
No.
Okay.
Is it newer or older?
It's like from 2015 or something. I think
Okay.
it's one of the movies that stuck with me the most as far as
Okay,
horror.
yeah. This one was like, I just remember like I have never felt this scared in a movie because it was just like leading up to all of it, and then it just goes fucking like bonkers. Like,
But
Yeah.
like also though, one more thing to this movie's credit, which I think should not get lost in the conversation is, unless I'm just projecting, it has a lot of funny moments. There's great little humorous moments like throughout, like when.
Yeah, I laughed
with
at
the
some
sister.
inappropriate
No,
times,
when there's like the
perhaps.
sister, like where they're at the party, and he's like, "Ah, it's my sister," and the stupid teen is like, "Is she hot?" Like there are these great
Oh, I
little
thought she said, "Is she
moments.
hot?"
Oh
She
no,
said,
is
"Is she
your
hot?"
sister hot?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God.
Dude, that's the-
Wow.
There's a lot of great little moments where I'm like, "What is it? Just me? I know that this stuff is
And
funny."
he's like a regular teenager because in class the first shot we get of him is staring at the girl's ass in front of him.
Also,
It's like,
I think
that's
we all
so-
laughed
also,
at that moment.
I think all movies that actually have like
Valiantly finished the
believable.
bottle of wine
Well done.
Like
for you.
believable teenagers, because so many movies have like straight up
Cliche.
adults, straight up adult actors playing teenagers, and also like cliches. This movie like
Cut to
gives
footage of Grease.
gives a very convincing portrayal of high schoolers. Like that you just don't see it that much in movies, so that's a good job too. Every scene with the teens, the stupid teens,
They looked like high schoolers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Like
definitely.
high schoolers.
They did.
they looked and behaved. That's like this is a very well shot, like well executed movie.
His first movie, by the
Like-
way. His
What?
first-
Really?
Yeah. He
I've
did, like,
seen
a student
Midsommar,
film, but this is like
a
his
couple
first
times.
like feature.
Wow.
You know.
Have you seen Midsommar?
No.
Have you?
Yeah.
Have you? Yeah, I like
can
this
watch
way
it again.
more. I thought this was, and I've seen Midsommar 2 or 3 times, and I like it a lot. But I thought this was way better.
I mean,
A lot of similar themes in certain ways, you know, of grief and dealing with that, and finding ways
Uncomfortable
to
grief.
yeah, very
Yeah.
yes.
I love like every shot of the. I'm going back to the first things, but the treehouse, like every shot, day night, all of those like shots just keep coming back to the treehouse. Like, if I could just combine all that into one, like that's my favorite shot of the movie. It's just it's hypnotic. It's so beautiful. Like, and it's
Yeah, so like the
Like-
transitions are cool because it'll
Yeah.
be like
Oh, man.
just
Yes.
daytime, and then you hear like, and then just like
There was a
turn
shot
to
I noticed
nighttime.
where it went from daytime to nighttime, and I don't know if I'm right, but it looked like when it turned to nighttime, there were you could kind of make out a couple naked people standing outside the house.
What?
I could be
No,
wrong.
no, you're
I'm gonna
just-
show this
You're
image
just-
in the edit.
No,
but
you're just a horn dog. That's,
no, yeah, that's probably
Okay,
it.
editor
I saw him
Indy,
too.
I need you to edit the number of people, the number of naked people appear throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that, but I am gonna point out that scene. I'm gonna highlight that.
You're going to be
Okay.
watching this while you're editing this,
So-
Indy, and you're going to do it.
What's the name of the friend, the one who's the like the, I guess
Joni.
like Joni.
Joni,
Yeah,
yeah.
So like on the whatever you want to call it, nefarious or evil scale, like Joni's like right at the top.
Yeah,
right?
she
Because
was very
She is
evil.
like
Well, she took over since
Yeah,
the grandma
yeah, I
died.
mean,
she's like
her-
now the new in command.
She's the
I
new
mean,
queen of Dambala.
when you know what you know, like going back, like, and she's just like the master manipulator. It's so creepy, like the level to which the lows that she steeps to manipulate this person
Yeah, if
is so messed up.
If you
I mean,
watch the subtle
it is.
details, like when she sees that she's losing her because there's no relation, she goes, "I lost my son."
Oh,
And when she's about to leave after the whole seance thing, She grabs her gently by the shoulder and does the whole politician shoulder touch. She holds her attention. She tries to keep her eye contact. Those are all things.
So it's almost like in retrospect, it's like you could see where like this woman is like evil personified. Like it makes sense that she would be like the foot soldier of Payman. She's
she was despicable.
She is completely evil.
She seems so
like,
caring and like she was really trying to help. Very
that's
genuinely
like,
trying
she's
to.
like casting out Peter's soul. From his body.
Yeah.
And it's cool because it's like across the street. That no way he would.
Right.
Anyone would be able to hear her.
Yeah.
But it's like
the only thing he can hear.
Where it's like
Satanic
he can
magic.
hear her clearly, and only he's like looking around if anyone else notices.
Yeah.
Pretty weird.
So great.
And he was eating milk and chicken wings, which actually is symbolic for when milk is obviously symbolic of
innocence.
Innocence, correct? Yeah, when you're a baby, you drink a lot of milk, and chicken wings are. Also,
chicken and macaroni.
I do want to say though that
Chili
a movie
dogs.
like this, I don't know if a movie like this could be made, even though it wasn't that long ago. I don't know if a movie like this could be made today because, quite frankly, a female
It's a
host
cancel
is just
culture.
as suitable for Paimon. Like females can host.
2018.
No, it's
Can
just
host evil
bodies.
bodies.
Do you
I
think-
know, I
do you
think
think
I'm
Paimon
very
is that
I mean,
woke,
Paimon
though?
was canceled a long
Yeah,
time
exactly.
ago.
I remember.
I'm saying
I used to be actually
this
a
movie.
fan.
This movie isn't very woke because I'm just saying a female host should be good enough.
Right.
Like if not better.
For payment?
yeah.
You don't remember? Yeah. Hashtag
That's
Paimon
like
is
the,
over.
those are like the exceptions though, where it's
He
like
wants
you know
his
what?
penis.
Cancel payment.
That's the exception
Could
where
you
like you know what?
imagine
No.
life without your
Payment
dog?
can have the male bodies like.
Yeah, he
That's fine.
needs a fat schlong to.
All right. Does anything else come to mind? Anything else you guys want to talk about?
Honestly,
in
it's
terms of
Okay, here's a question. Let's say somehow like it works out. Do you think their marriage survives? Like after all of this? Like,
After what?
Maybe
After
only
he
these-
burned to death and she
maybe-
cut her own head
No,
off?
no, no,
depends
right
at
up,
what
to,
point in the
right up
movie.
until the moment of the burning. Let's say he doesn't
If he
burn.
had burned the
let's
thing
say he
and
doesn't
it
burn. They put
saved
it
the-
down and they're like, okay,
He
clearly
doesn't
we
burn
need
it.
counseling. Maybe a vacation to like Hawaii or something.
I
Does the
think-
marriage survive?
I
No,
say yes.
No, they're being
See-
pursued by Paimon.
No, well, if Paimon
If
was
Paimon
out
had
of the
decided
equation,
to give up,
yeah,
at that
Paymon's
point-
out of the equation. Does this marriage?
I think
or is
they
there
can
already
figure
too
it out.
much?
No, I think Toni Collette's character has enough self-awareness of her own
Yeah,
issues
yeah.
to eventually, through some counseling, be able
Because in an
to
alternate universe, maybe they work it out, and they're like, Whew,
Yeah.
man, that was a rough time.
They could even
Remember
bring
that
back
time?
Charlie. It could be a happy ending. Put her
Yeah.
inhabit her old body. Because they were communicating with her, right? Was
But
that actually her, or were the
Charlie was
only,
Paimon, though.
or it was only Paimon they were ever talking to in the seances?
no, Charlie and
I think
Paimon are the same person.
Yeah,
Right,
That's
but
the
also
It's like the reincarnation of-
Joni's son was also not real, right? That's what we're.
I mean, he
we're-
might have
No,
been. He
there's
might have been
no,
a part
like-
of the cult.
answer
Okay.
to it because I was thinking that maybe she did really lose her kids and like because she's
That's what
evil,
drove her
she
to it?
can.
yeah.
Okay.
she
But
has
that's
her
like
back-
almost even.
She wanted to talk to her
But
kids.
that's almost
again,
even
and
more
she
evil.
Did go
She
towards,
uses
like this evil
the memory
witchcraft
of her
stuff
dead
to like.
now.
That's true.
You know,
That's
it's
very
like-
cold.
And she knows it
It's-
works, so she just has to convince Annie to follow along too. Like she needs her to.
Zelda was
oh.
very scared. I could feel her getting scared during
Yeah.
all the scenes.
Also,
she knew.
am I the
She
only
doesn't
one?
fuck with cold.
Am I the only one that found it? Am I the only one that found it hard to believe that like at some like teenager house party they're like in the middle of that they're like let's bake a cake. You know?
That's a good point.
With extra walnut.
I'm
What
saying,
time?
I can totally
Chopping up
picture
the-
someone
hey,
being like,
whoa,
I'm gonna
what,
fucking
what,
make
what?
it.
Oh, I would praise that
For you.
person.
Kind of
Yeah.
hippie pen for you.
All right.
This is
some of
gonna
this?
raise my
Nah,
popularity
that's-
score by
that stuff
30.
will make your balls small.
I guess the like lingering thing that I wanted to mention specifically is just that thrumming, the like very subtle thrum. Boop, 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 boop,
Oh
in the back.
yeah.
Which came up at very specific times. It was very well chosen. Like, I mean, the whole thing was so well finessed. But that just when I first heard it, it was so subtle. I thought it was like one of the neighbors, like listening to some kind of music or something, you
One
know,
of the cars on the street.
or something like something like that.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until it came back that I was like, whoa, that's a part of the track.
It's the thrumming.
And just the way they used it to build suspense and like signal that there was something eerie was going on. I just thought it was pure genius. I mean, it was a true masterwork.
Creepy as hell.
Yeah.
It was wonderful, just wonderful. I mean, it was terrifying.
Just
It was a
wonderful. Made
experience.
me upset in all the best ways. And yeah, it was. I mean, I think if we're ready to start getting towards the end of this, I mean,
Yeah,
it gets
I
a
think it's-
5 out of 5 for me
So
in
let's-
both
you wanna
categories.
start-
Okay,
you want to
yeah.
start with
Introduce the
Michael?
score.
Yeah. All right.
Or
Okay.
Alec, one of you guys introduce.
Let's introduce what our scoring system that we landed on is.
Would you like to take the honors there?
Yeah. Basically.
Here, wait, let me give you the mic.
Okay. Oh. Here. So we'll
Here
just
at
for
BDSM,
now. I'm just going to entertain the audience with some freestanding comedy. So. So I had to go to the dentist the other. All right.
All right,
Thank
careful
God.
with those bottles.
And we're back. Welcome back to the Boys Discussing Some Movies podcast. Here we are to give our final takes on the films. So the system we landed on for scoring these films that we watch is we are rating them on a scale of 1 to 5 in two separate categories, I guess. Basically, 5, how many film reels out of 5 you would give this film, which is a I hesitate to use the word objective, but how well made you thought this film was on a more neutral from a more neutral standpoint, and also how many VHS tapes out of 5 you would give it, which is just how much you just enjoyed the movie, even if you thought it was a terrible piece of shit, or if you thought it was a well-made movie but you didn't like it very much. Anyway, so we're gonna pass the mic off to Mike to give his take.
Wow, what an honor. Well, geez. Yeah, I mean, part of me would love to like hear what some other people say before I just go right in, because I don't want to be like either like the overly like, you know, the one who's giving too much praise or the dick that didn't give enough. But let's just 3 is a cop out. I'm a firm believer that 3 is just a cop out in general. 3 is a freaking no. What I'm saying in general, no, that's a cop out. That's a cop out. So like you know, I feel like as far as what the movie is trying to achieve, it hits it out of the park. It's wildly successful as far as what it's going for. So I really do think within its genre for what it is, it deserves like 5 as far as the the film, you know, yeah. And then like for me, like on a personal level, like I really like it, but I'm not sure if I can give it 5 because I could still find like little nitpicking areas, but that's just for me. So I would give it 4 in the VHS. Yeah. But it is like, again, like I know you guys have already heard me say it a lot, but I do think, I mean, I completely subscribe to Roger Ebert's theory that you should judge a movie on its genre, on what it is trying to do. First and foremost, you can have your own feelings about it, but for what it's trying to do, it really is. It's a modern day masterpiece. So yeah. Yeah, whatever. Here you go, smart ass.
I love you. I hate to have a mild take on our first episode ever, but unfortunately I have to pretty much completely agree with Michael's rating. I would definitely give this a 5 out of 5. Film reels, it was just so well made in every way. Every aspect of good filmmaking was utilized. And the only reason it wouldn't get a 5 out of 5 in the VHS category for me is I just don't quite see myself putting this on and rewatching it all the time. I don't know. This is a completely subjective category. So I immensely enjoyed it. I don't think I've liked a movie that I've seen this much in many weeks. It was fantastic. I watch 5 to 15 movies a week. Anyway, so yeah, 5 out of 5 on the film reels. It was fantastic. 4 out of 5 VHS tapes. I enjoyed it immensely. Not my favorite movie of all time, but fantastic.
I just want to say that was great. Good job, Indy. I was gonna get a little more slack so I can hand it off. All right. So, yeah, objectively speaking, I'm basically just gonna reiterate a lot of what I already said. Unsurprisingly, just every aspect of the movie I thought was unbelievably well finessed. The build-ups for every scene, like I thought nothing was overdone, honestly. Like there wasn't anything that was too much or too little. I mean the acting, the direction, like just everything came together to make it into this masterful piece of art that it was. So I think objectively it deserves 5 out of 5 film reels. And as for my personal enjoyment, it's probably obvious. I would give it 5 out of 5 VHS tapes. I enjoyed it a lot. I was moved. I was moved into uncomfortable spaces, but I was moved. And I don't know. Would I watch it again? That's generally not how I judge a movie, like whether I'd watch it again. But
Judge it the same way I did.
well, no. I mean, I think that's.
This is completely your subjective.
I got you. It's a legitimate take, though. I mean, rewatchability is definitely a legitimate category for assessment. But yeah, I don't know. I'm personally, I'm generally not into the horror genre. Since moving to LA a little over a year ago, I'm getting more into it. Oh, Rosemary's Baby. Who's seen Rosemary's Baby? No, this is on topic. You've seen it.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it. You have not.
Yes, fantastic.
Nice. Okay, so two of us haven't. Similar theme. And that's all I'll say on that point. And also excellent, and like really well done. I couldn't help but think about it. Yeah, and I'll leave it at that. Maybe that'll be my choice. We'll see.
Oh boy, wait.
All right.
Score.
What? That I did.
Oh, you did. Okay.
5 out of 5, both categories.
All right, that's right. You did. So it's not your turn anymore.
All right. Well, yeah. So I mean, I think I've seen this movie a shit ton of times. So at least for me, it has rewatchability. Having seen it so many times, I could nitpick at things that it's like, oh, it's a little silly, or it's like things being too convenient. But then again, it's like there's definitely a paranormal aspect to it, which is a justification for whatever convenient shit happens, you know. Yeah. But basing it off like the first time and this time, yeah, it's up there for me. It's one of my favorites. I like showing it to people. It is fun to see their take or, you know, perspective. Yeah, so I'm gonna give it 5 film reels. It's very pretty to watch, especially for the dude's first movie. It's like very, very impressive. Toni Collette fucking kills it. I mean, they all do an incredible job, but it's like this small family, and like the acting is so real and like causes anxiety for me, and like so uncomfortable, where I could like kind of relate in a weird way or like feel for them. So yeah, that's like my objective take, and then I give it 5 VHS tapes also, just because of how much I enjoy it, and I love horror movies, and this one kind of set the tone for me to like really actually start watching more horror movies and like get into the genre. This was like one of the leading ones for me. So yeah, 5 and 5.
Just gonna say 5 VHS tapes. film reels. Yeah, it's a technical masterpiece. It's got a lot going for it, a lot of attention to detail, a lot of subtle layers, a lot of stuff to think about and play around with your brain. Maybe if you play around with it too much, things work out too perfectly. Like some of my friends have said, some things are a little convenient. But overall, it works as a movie and as a story, as a tragedy. But that's also why I'm going to only have to give it 3 VHS tapes out of 5, because it's generally a movie that doesn't feel like it has catharsis. It doesn't exactly leave you satisfied watching it. It doesn't really give you a lot of reasons to come back to it, to think about it. The only reason I've watched it so many times is purely for reaction value. And I think that was a deliberate part on the filmmaker, and I can appreciate that. But aside from that, there's really nothing to come back to.
Damn.
Hail Val! Hail Val!
Yeah. All right, wait. Before we... Well, yeah, you can put that away, I guess. I mean, so that's basically it, right?
I think
Yeah.
so.
I think before we turn the cameras off, it is, our next movie is Val's pick. And yeah, I think it's time to hear what it is live on camera.
Well, okay. I'm going to speak up and say that you don't have to say it now, but we are waiting with eager anticipation.
I actually, I've been thinking about it. I have 2 options for you guys, and I'm going to give you the choice. So, there's
Your choice.
an action
That's
movie.
upsetting.
It's a French action movie called Sleepless Night.
Oh, cool.
And the other option is a movie called Dangerous Liaisons.
Fucking love that movie.
Yeah?
I love that movie.
Hell yeah.
I'm hard for Dangerous Liaisons. Are you kidding me?
I've asked
Dude.
around, and I'm pretty sure most of you haven't seen it,
I
so...
haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen
You know
Dangerous
either
Liaisons?
I've never heard of the other one, so that
Love
would be
it.
my
Yeah, that's
vote.
the one I told you.
But
Val!
it's up to you. It's completely up to
It's
you.
one of my favorite movies. Oh my gosh, you like Dangerous Liaisons?
All right, hold
Dude,
on.
come
on.
Do
Great
you
one.
want to conclude the episode or do a really
Well, wait. Which
Dude,
one?
I'm ready,
well,
I'm
I
ready
think-
to watch it
should we
right
settle
now.
on this?
Which? Yeah, let's
So
tell our
you
loyal
said-
viewers which movie we're going to be watching next.
Well, we
episode.
don't have to do that.
I'm just gauging you guys. Like, what do you guys think you'll prefer more, just in general?
Val,
We'll
you're
get
cooking with
around
gas,
to
man.
The other one.
I personally, 1 out of 5, believe that you should choose. I think that you should choose.
Okay.
You got a sense of where we are.
All right.
I think you should choose. I mean, you don't have to. If you want to open it up to a choice among the group, that's your choice.
That is your choice.
You can
I
do the
also
French one,
fully
'cause it'll be
believe
a
you
new
should
movie.
choose.
Yeah.
Personally, I'm more interested in the French one because I've never heard of it, but I'm also excited
They're
to
both
see a
French
movie
in a
that both
way.
of you seem to really like. So I'd be very happy with either one, but I really think you should
No,
choose.
you do the French one because I haven't seen that. No, I'm sorry. Shut up. I'll shut up.
Yeah, shut up. Now, Michael, what would you like to say?
No, nothing. I'm just
Oh.
so impressed by him saying Dangerous Liaisons.
Uh.
I just got like a crush on Val.
I love that movie so much. Look, Sleepless Night is nice. It's if you've ever seen Taken or like John Wick, it's kind of in that
Have
valley.
I?
It's in that valley. It's fun and it's just like a fun romp. It's got a clear-cut story. It does it well, and it's very, very contained. It's got great action and it's fun. It's fun to a degree, but I think there's a lot more story value out of Dangerous Liaisons. So I have it up in the air. I've taken a little bit of a gauge here, but I feel like it could go either way. I think you guys would appreciate either one, and that's why I really wanted to give you guys a choice.
So, should we let our eager fans just know that it's going to be one of the two? Can we be satisfied with that?
One of the two.
I
coming
guess
up.
so. Yeah.
Let's put that to a fan vote.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Tell us in the comments which one you'd rather see.
All our moms vote for
Mom, you know which one I want to watch.
I mean, we'll all watch both eventually. I'm certain of this.
Yeah, by the way, we have to
Incorrect.
make sure that all of our moms review the podcast.
Yeah. My mom is very excited for me.
I mean, it has to be mom approved for
Yeah.
sure.
Oh,
The
gosh.
BDSM podcast.
You know what's funny is I did mention to my because no let me explain no because I told him like I couldn't do a thing with them on this date because we're doing the podcast, and that's when I mentioned I'm doing a podcast, and my mom's like, oh, what's it called? And I just go, boys discussing some movies. She's like, oh, I love that title.
All right.
I think this went really well.
So folks, ask your friends if they know about BDSM.
If they enjoy BDSM,
Yeah.
Yeah, and if they don't know about BDSM,
If
send
they'd
them
like
our
to-
way.
Yeah, if they'd like to watch BDSM, we got BDSM.
we got BDSM, and the more viewers we have, the more BDSM content we can produce.
I tell you, it's
So
Hopefully
A
you
lot of
guys
content.
enjoyed it, learned
We
something,
certainly did.
or all that other stuff.
all right.